24/7, 365. The fantasy season never dies. Welcome to Every Day is Draft Day. Presented by Champions Round.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the latest edition of Every Day is Draft Day. I am Dan Turner. Joining me, as always, new Vikings fan, Steffi Smalls. What's
Not
up,
a Vikings fan. I'm just always recording from somewhere else. Not much. It's Friday. I'm very happy that it's Friday. The weather is finally getting nice outside, which is delightful because it's been horrendous.
Yeah, it's raining here, so.
Oh, well, can't relate. Gonna go golfing after and have myself a time, but we have to talk about the win totals because they are drunk.
Yes. So if anyone that was living under a rock for the past couple of hours, the schedule for the NFL released yesterday. Big hoopla. There was some leaks, whatever. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of our favorite win totals for the teams and discuss them. So, as always, I will be going first because this is the show where I go first on everything.
Yes.
So, the first one that I would like to talk about is the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders have, I believe the over-under is 8 for their win total. Just make sure. Yes, 8. So, I'm going to go with the under on that because I have absolutely no faith in Carson Wentz. I think that it's going to be tough for Washington to win 8 games. Based on their schedule, I can see them winning against Jacksonville, Detroit, Chicago.
One Giants, at least.
One Giants, Houston, maybe Atlanta. That's about it. So we're looking at 5-6 games, maybe 7 if you're real lucky. I just don't see where they get 8 games from. I know their defense is legit. But I just, based on what happened with Carson Wentz, both in Philly and in Indy, I just don't think that they have the personnel to be able to get to that total.
Which is funny because we're kind of alone in this. The more I've read and seen online, everyone is like, "Oh, smash that over!" Washington has not gotten any better, and they haven't gotten any worse, which I think is an issue in this division too. I think this division is going to be not as much of it's still going to be a crapshoot. It's still the NFC East, or none of these teams are fully at. I mean, you could start making an argument for the Eagles here pretty soon, and we know that the MO of Dallas. But Washington bringing on Wentz, I think people are kind of downplaying how big of a deal it is to have a new quarterback come in, especially one that has struggled. This is now his 3rd team. He's returning to his old division. And again, Washington looked great 2 seasons ago, but last season we were like, what is going on? So I agree. I think that's a little bit steep of a number here. And as much as, it's the NFC East. Yeah, but I think they're gonna have a harder time than people think. And I think the schedule is easy for sure, and they'll get those wins, and they'll probably breeze through those couple wins. But they added some more pieces, but I don't know that the strength of their team got any better. But no. I'll stay in the NFC East while we're here. I think a team that did get better is the Eagles. And I think it's kind of ridiculous that this is set at 8.5. They check 2 boxes. They're in the NFC, and then they're in the NFC East. Those are the 2 boxes I'm looking for when I'm going to look at these totals. They won 9 games last year. This team is I don't want to use greatly because that seems like an exaggeration, but they brought on A.J. Brown, and I think that he can really tie together this offense, can give Jalen Hurts the extra weapon that he needs. And I think there's no reason that they can't at least get to 9 like they did last year in the second year of Sirianni. I think Hurts, again, gets another guy. It's the second year that this staff is here, and a lot of the knock last year was that this staff is very young. They're very, very unexperienced. But I mean, winning 9 and having a pretty damn easy schedule with an improved roster, and then bringing in one of the best, top 7, top 10, wherever you have AJ Brown, he's a top receiver in this league. And then DeVonta Smith too. We talk about this all the time. He just quietly had a good, it's not the rookie year that you wanted because everyone plays fantasy football and then things get downplayed, but he still had a great rookie season. So I think that this 8.5 is pretty low because again, you're setting that floor at them being just like a 500 team, which I think that they can go beyond that. And I think, again, the NFC East, it's not hard to win. And the NFC East is playing the NFC North this year. I think that's something else to look at. That's why I kind of also like these NFC East teams, even the Giants, who I won't end up talking about, but like their total's been knocked down to 7. I don't know that you're asking them to just be below a 500 team. I think that they could do that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The NFC North and the AFC South, which aren't like powerhouse divisions. So it really is funny. I'm not going to talk about the Eagles because then I'll be labeled a homer, but you made some really good points. Speaking of the AFC South, my next one is going to be the Tennessee Titans, who are at 9, and I don't see how you get to 9 wins with that team. I'm smashing the over. I mean the under. Excuse me, the under on.
You're like, I don't see how we get there.
I get there. Over. I don't believe in them at all. Take the over. No, I just like looking at their schedule. I mean, like they're facing the NFC East, but like they're also facing the AFC West, and like that's 4 losses right there. They probably split against the East. They're not going to beat Indy. I mean, it's hard for me with what they have on offense now that AJ Brown is gone to see how they get to that total. I mean, Derrick Henry is still there, but he's getting up there in age, and you can't just.
And he didn't look that good after his injury. I'm sorry. I know no one wants to admit it, but he did not look good when he came back. And I get that was probably a premature entrance back into the game, but still, he didn't look totally normal.
Right. And the cliff comes for every running back, no matter how great they are. So, I mean, not to say that the cliff is coming this year, but I don't see Henry taking them to 9 wins. I mean, the receiving core, you're putting a lot of pressure on Treylon Burks to immediately step in and contribute as a number 1 receiver.
And we like him. We talk about him. We've talked to him multiple times. I don't think that trade ended up being that horrific. I think that you've replaced AJ Brown with AJ Brown's comp. So yes, I think that was a smart move. You're not going to pay him. But then there's also this weird Tannehill kind of, I don't want to use regression. I just think he's at that point in his career where you're going to see a little bit of a back step. And I think that bringing on Malik Willis also doesn't help that. The teams they're going to play, I think they're not going to be as good as they were last year. And I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. The receiving core is Burks and then Robert Woods, who, he's over 30 now and he's coming back from a really serious injury. Like how effective he's going to be right off the bat. So it's a really depleted receiving core. I mean, you're putting a lot of pressure on a rookie. Not to say he won't be good, as you said. So I just don't see where 9 wins is coming from.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I will head to the NFC North where I will stay for my next 2 ones because I think, again, these numbers, I used to love the Detroit Lions number, but that number has totally shifted, and I think that they're catching on. 6.5 is just, you're in between there because, like, I think their floor is exactly 6. I think you're asking a lot. Like, you're not asking a lot to get to the 7, but that's just a tricky number. I think Vegas is smart with what they're doing with that number, so I'm staying away from it. But the Vikings, and I'm not a Vikings fan, although I look like a Vikings fan, but this is another. I'm not a Vikings fan. But this is another number that seems a little ridiculous to me. What is it? They're at 8.5. They won 8 last year. And all they have to do is literally not run the ball in every play. And I think in an O'Connell system, like you can very much get, like, I don't see how they don't get to 9. I think that their schedule is weak. They're playing the NFC East. And I think all you have to do is just did this team get greatly better over the offseason? No, not necessarily. You have Irv Smith coming back. I think they did make some upgrades. I think their defense should look better. We'll see how it turns out with their secondary, which was really one of their weakest links. But I think 9 games alone, like when I went through their schedule, I see 10 wins there. And I think that's even with the Vikings bullshit of them, like they do every year where they kind of just mess up and throw a game and whatever it is. Like, I think that just getting Jefferson involved, like a little bit more instead of every single, like they just ran the ball every play and it was unnecessary. You have a weapon in Justin Jefferson, use him. So I think that just throwing the ball a little bit more, I think given the division, right? Like NFC and then East and North are the 2 things I'm looking for. And not only are they in the North, they play the East. So I love it. I think that this number easily goes over.
Yeah, that's a great one. I think people are really underestimating the Vikings and what Kyle can do for them. Absolutely. Okay, so for my last one, I will stay. It's funny that we're both staying in the same in the division for our second and third one. I'll stay in the AFC South. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. Houston Texans right now are at 4.5, which is insane to me because they won 4 games last year. Davis Mills has another year under his belt. They improved the offense in the offseason. Everyone's coming back healthy. What am I missing here? Like what? It's one more game than they won when they were a complete train wreck last year. I mean, it's not like, they have to go out and make the playoffs. It's 5 games. I just don't see how you don't get 5 games out of the schedule they have. I mean, they have the NFC. They have the NFC East, right? Yeah, they have the NFC East. So that's 2 wins. I'm sure they can beat Jacksonville. They could probably steal a game from Indy and probably beat Tennessee once. So I mean, you split like their division and win 3 more games. That's it. They're good. So like, what am I missing here?
I don't think you're missing anything. I agree with you. And I kind of feel the way about the next one, except I'm taking the under. And I know that we've been going overs, but this is an under that I don't really understand. I think that this number is set too high. So we're talking about the NFC North. I think if any team got, I don't want to say they got slightly worse, but they didn't do anything like the way that the Vikings didn't really do anything, but it's different because you have Justin Fields. So 6.5 is a stretch for me. You're expecting a team with obviously Justin Fields. He's still a major work in progress. I really don't care as much of a stand that you are. Got it. He had what? He lost all 7 of his starts in 2021. And this offense finished 6th worst in scoring. They lost Allen Robinson. Not that he was involved, but they didn't do much to improve that receiver room. And they even lost Khalil Mack on defense. And they did. It's not like they got a 1st-round pick this year. It's a lot. I think they're playing the NFC East, but I think that those teams can beat up on them. I think that the Lions got better. I think the Lions did more to improve their team than the Bears did. Then they have to play the Vikings, who, again, I think are a stronger team with their coaching staff and how they're moving forward. And then you have the Packers, too, who, they didn't get much better. But I don't know that the Bears are strong enough to, every single game. I don't think they're going to beat all 3 of those teams at least once. I see them losing to at least one of them both times. And that 6.5 is a reach for me because the Eagles are strong. The Dallas is strong. I don't know that I think that the Giants are much worse than them. And I think that Washington could also beat them. So 6.5 is a reach for me. They won 6 last year. I don't think they improved enough to win 7 this year.
Yeah. First, apologies to everyone on Twitter likes Justin Fields. Don't come after us.
Oh, no, I love Justin Fields. I just think, again.
I don't. So,
okay, well.
But anyway, you have a solid point. The Bears didn't really do anything to help Justin Fields this offseason. Everyone around them on their schedule got better. They're not going to beat Green Bay. I don't think they're going to beat the Vikings at all. I think the Vikings beat them twice. And Detroit, they'll probably split with. I think everyone in the East can beat them. I think Washington has the defense to take Fields. I think the Giants improved enough to beat them. Dallas and the Eagles should beat them. I just don't like you made a great point. I just don't there's no realistic way to get to that win total.
Don't you think there's a higher chance that this team has a top 3, even the 1st overall pick, than they do to win 7 games? I think that's a more likely outcome.
Yeah.
And that sucks. I think that they're at least moving in forward progression. And I guess I shouldn't say that.
Are they though? I don't think they are.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know how it's going to play out. A lot of the moves that they made just don't entirely make sense to me. And then you lose that main piece in Khalil Mack. I just don't love it. And I don't love 6.5. That's for damn sure.
No, the argument can be made that every other team in their division got better and they got worse. They didn't add any one on offense of consequence. They lost probably their top player on defense in Mack. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it with them.
Yep, I agree with you. But yeah, all these numbers, there's a bunch. These are definitely numbers to take a look at. Some of them are just set too high, but I agree with all of yours. I think even
Same.
Looking at Seattle and Atlanta, I don't know about some of these 5.5.
Yeah.
Some of these teams really feel like 5-win teams. So we'll see how it plays
What do you think
out.
about the Jets at 5.5?
I think that I would rather take the Jets over than take the Bears over. Yeah.
I think I might do the Bears at over 5.5 because I think they improved enough to.
The Jets you're saying?
The Jets, the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they did enough, and on paper, it shouldn't be hard. and the season's longer now. Like that's like 6 wins is not a big deal. Like it's actually like that's just like accidentally winning a couple games.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's really not a big deal. Like that's why when I look at the Giants like total at 7, like I'm talking about them like accidentally beating the Packers in London, like and like those type of games. Like it's really not a tall task to win 6 games anymore with the extra week.
You're 6-11. It's not that you're great. It's not like you're great. You still suck.
No.
Yeah. So real quick before we head out, do you have any personal thoughts on the Giants' schedule? Have you looked at the Giants' schedule?
It's funny because no, I haven't. I don't really care. I don't get the hoopla. I care because, like, obviously I want to see games and I love that we have a later bye week because I know teams like the Vikings, like they're coming back from London and most teams don't have a bye after their London week, but I think that, again, like 7 wins. Yeah. I mean, we won 4 games with QB sneaks and Jason Garrett and no Daniel Jones, half a receiver, like Fromm and Glennon, and with a more difficult schedule. So now we have an easier schedule. And the NFC North, like I think it's a division that obviously we're playing, I think that we can take on. And then we also play some of like, we play the Panthers and our schedule is weak. I mean, so is the Eagles and so is Washington's. Dallas is not that much harder, but I don't hate it. I think that everyone needs to temper expectations. And I think that having an OC, and a coach that understand like what the strengths are of this team, like, and if they can fully unlock that, I think that 7 games is not a lot. I think that their floor, obviously, like if they won 4 last year with what they had and what they were doing, which was not playing football, there is no reason this team cannot win 6 games. Like for me, that's their floor. So to ask them to win 7 again, like doesn't feel like a big deal.
Yeah, no.
They have good players. They improved the O-line. Like they have a solid wide receiver core. If you can keep everyone healthy, you have enough players to do so. And they fixed the O-line, and the O-line's really been the problem. I think that if you can get Saquon going a little bit more, you can use Daniel Jones' mobility but not get him killed. Like, is 7 games really that difficult? Like, again, it's not even a big deal. Like, 7 games is not a big deal.
It's not, no. No, I think it is funny that like everyone in the East has the easiest strength of schedule based on last year, which I hate because you shouldn't compare anyone to last year's schedule.
Didn't we have the easiest? Oh, we had one of the hardest last year.
We did, yeah. We had one of the easiest, and now everyone in the division has the easiest because we faced the North and the AFC South. Right. But I mean, I just hate like that kind of thing because everyone improved or something. It's completely different teams than last year. So I don't. But whatever. Yeah. That's neither here nor there. I think it's a surprise for me the Eagles got so many primetime games. I mean, we got 2 Sunday night, 2 Monday night.
Are you surprised?
But Thursday, because I don't know, because I didn't think, like, I guess with all the stuff we did in the offseason and with like the AJ Brown stuff, like we would be popular. I just didn't expect that many. I expected maybe like 3, not 5. Although I do think it's funny that that Wentz comes back on Monday Night Football with Washington.
They love a good narrative. This
it is, yeah.
They love a good narrative, which I love it too. I eat that shit up. But I think the Eagles. I think the Eagles should be. I think that. I just want to beat Dallas at Monday Night Football because I just think it's funny. Like I don't even care. Like we could get 1 win, and if it's Dallas on Monday Night Football, like I will.
That's all matters.
Yeah. When do you guys? Don't you guys play them on Thanksgiving or something?
Christmas Eve.
Oh, we play you on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Not something like that. Let me think.
Something like I don't know when we play. We only have 1 primetime. Thank God. Last year
we play each other late.
Okay. We only have 1 prime time, which is how it should have been last year. It's like, stop putting the Giants in prime time. We're not ready to be in prime time.
It's because it's the media thing. It's the media market.
Yeah. I guess we get London too, which is nice, and that'll be a fun game.
Yeah. We face you guys on December 11th and January 8th. Okay. So.
Well, I know a fun fact.
What's the fun fact?
The Giants were the first game that was played internationally. They are 2-0 in London. They went to the playoffs both times and the Super Bowl once.
There you go.
Weird.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. Can't wait to break those records.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. All right. Let's get
out of
here.
Well, that'll do it, I think, for this episode of Every Day is Draft Day. I hope everyone enjoyed the schedule release and you're happy with the schedule your team has because there's nothing we can really do about it now. So Steph, do you want to mention your 32 team?
Next week, starting Tuesday, going to start breaking down all 32 teams, having guests on from media, influencers, people from gambling industry, people from the fantasy football industry, having a panel and just breaking them down. I'm going to start with the NFC North and go from there. It should be a blast. Very excited to get started on that. And I'll be having almost 3 episodes a week on that. So got to get through them. It's crazy to think I don't have enough time to do less than that. So football is coming.
Yes, Steph will be busy.
I will be very busy. All right. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yes, I will be writing an article about win totals to expand more on what we talked about today.
Oh, yes.
And also check out all of our social media things and our Discord, please.
Our Discord's so much fun.
Discord is a lot of fun. We're putting a lot of work into it, and we're really proud of it so far. So
yes.
Check that out.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Have a good weekend, guys.